here in historic Stafford. We're at one of the only locations that African Americans still exist in this community, although there was many years ago. We're at the FIS Cemetery, which is the Farmers Improvement Society Cemetery. Okay, it was established in 1910. And so that's what the historical, even the land that we're on the William L. Neely survey, which is a historical element that happened during the, Texas Revolutionary War, during that time period. And so next to it is going to be the Gibbs graves, which are right over to our right. They're the ones who initially purchased 40 acres from Amanda Cartwright, and in 1891. They were one of 4 black families that purchased land from them. It was a whole 160 acres altogether that was sold. So the Gibbs, they actually lived on the Bright survey. However, none of this land is plantation land. This land was owned by people independently. And so black people purchased this land, and 5th Street is a main artery into Stafford. So that's why it's an access point. So that's why it's so significant to be standing here today on 5th Street, because it's main artery into Stafford, whether it's the plantation or whether it's other property that was owned.
And so let's talk about this. So we're out here, we're doing cleanup, we're honoring the men and women that are buried here. Talk about the significance of this weekend. Talk about the significance of this cleanup.
I think Eunice, go ahead and tell
the main thing about the cleanup. The main thing is to come out and clean up the headstones and those that are fallen, to stand them back up. That was the main reason for today, just for the headstones. The cleanup is not really a cleanup. We've already cleaned the cemetery, but they wanted to come out and do something for the headstones.
And why today?
Because, as Congressman Olson said, it's the preempt of Juneteenth. He wanted to do it for the early Juneteenth. So that's why for today.
Celebrating 161 years of freedom. That's why it's so significant as far as talking about Juneteenth. And we're talking about 161 years of freedom, but the United States is celebrating 250 years of freedom. So part of that freedom of the United States, we had people that was enslaved. And it's only 161 years for people that were enslaved in this community and society. And so this place right here is a freedom colony, which was developed and owned by freed people, and we don't talk about them enough. We only talk about people being enslaved and people after that. But the significance is that the first 50 years out of slavery is the most important part of history for African American people. That's when we was at our highest, the most prosperous, and able to do more than we've ever been able to do in the United States history.
There's some pretty significant people that are buried here.
Yes.
That giant flag over there, if I understand correctly, that gentleman served in World War I.
Yes.
There's an incredible amount of history here. What can you kind of highlight some of the history that's here?
I think you can't overlook the Gibbs. The Gibbs is the family that actually sold the land to Morning Star, that owned the land originally. So you can't forget about them. So that's the most significant thing that's out here, that their family plot is out here also. And then we have many soldiers from all the different wars that are out here also. And we come out every Memorial Day and celebrate them and put flags on the graves, which that is a great thing. And this cemetery is actually well kept. When you come out here, it's always mowed. And that's because of the president, Ms. Eunice Jackson, that she ensures that things are kept and we pay honor to our ancestors. And this is where history is kept. A lot of times people forget, if you want to know the history, just come to the cemetery.
This place, from my understanding, has an even deeper significance to you. Is that correct?
Yes. My family is here. My mom, my dad, my son, he even served in Iraq War. He's here. And when I go back to think about my dad used to maintain it. And it was through the church. Everybody in the community that went to the church, their family was buried here. So it was a community cemetery.
Seeing this many people out today, helping with flowers and flags, and helping to honor the men and women that are here, how does that feel to see this many people turn out?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. And it was a lot of people here earlier, before you got here. There was a lot of people here. And the people that have family here, they came out earlier just to see if they needed to do anything. So it's awesome. Just knowing that people out there that don't even know the family, but they want to help.
So ladies, this week is Juneteenth, and I always like to ask people, what does this mean to you today? What does this mean to you now?
I just feel that with Juneteenth is that we can't forget about the people whose backs we stand on and the sacrifices that they made, because I would not be here. I would not be able to do the things that I'm able to do without their sacrifices. And I appreciate that, and I love history, and I always say the history lives in the land. It doesn't matter what you go and try to do to the land, the history lives in the land. And so I'm just fortunate and blessed of the people that came before me that made the sacrifices so that I could be free today and to be able to do the things I'm able to do today.
And you know, we're several years into federal recognition of Juneteenth as a holiday. How has that changed? Has that changed things for you? Has it changed your perception? Has it changed the education? What's changed as a result of that?
As far as change, I can't say much about the change. The way I'm related to it as far as Juneteenth is the way that everything is turns out. Everybody's stepping up, and with Juneteenth is the freedom for everybody. But like she said, it's America's freedom too. So it's all about the freedom.
Is there anything that we missed? Is there anything else we need to talk about while I have you two ladies?
I don't think that you asked about the change. I don't necessarily say it's a big change, because you have to remember we're black, we're African American every day of the week. So it's no big change for us. It's just that recognition that other people are recognizing it. And I don't want it to get to one of those things that people forget what it stands for and try to monetize it and try to take advantage of it. And so as long as that doesn't happen, I think it'll just continue, because we've always celebrated our freedom. They used to call it Freedom Day, and they've always done it. I'm from Thomasville, Georgia, and we celebrated it on May 20th. That was Freedom Day for us. So different places around the country is Freedom Day. It's just that Juneteenth, because Texas was the last one to announce the freedom that an enslaved was free, that's the thing we have in common, that we can all just use one day. But we can't forget about our historical, regardless to wherever you are. So I don't think a lot has changed for a lot of people. I just think a lot of awareness have come from other cultures and ethnicities, and hopefully that we'll all embrace that we have so much more in common than we have that's not. We have more in common than not. And so that's my thing. It's just give me appreciation, just being able to stand here in this place right now to celebrate. Just give us an opportunity to celebrate. I celebrate every day.
Well, I feel like it's good that the media wants to celebrate this. That means a lot to me. The fact that the media will even be out here to celebrate.